Liftoff and the clock has started.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats, for the Vobes Show is about to begin. Who are you calling us fine? We have a special guest in tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, back by popular demand. Yes, one person asked if we could have him back.
And that was me.
It was you, indeed. What are you doing in here?
Get out.
Anyway, back to the playing of the ordinary music until the show starts. No freebies from us, you know. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Vobie One-Eye Kenobi Showbie with me, the Richard Vobes, and a special guest being asked to come back time and time again by his mother. It is Ricky!
Hello, how are
Ricky.
you?
Yeah, I'm all right, nice to see you.
Thanks for having me back on, this is great stuff.
Fantastic,
this is
lovely.
Good.
Lovely to see you on a Tuesday.
Yes,
here, because we don't normally do a show on a Tuesday. So goodbye.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's it. Get your coat.
Yeah.
No, special. We've made special arrangements. We've swept all other things out of the way. Not that there were very many things out of the way, but my weekly meeting with my friend playing drafts has had to be cancelled.
Exciting as that. All right,
okay. Gosh, yes. I'm afraid now I roll down the little blanket at the bottom of the door and I no longer have that draft coming through.
Oh, well,
just for tonight.
Yes.
I hope you're all well, ladies and gentlemen, doing good things wherever it is. And I hope also you can understand.
It's begun already. Every time I come here, some lark happens.
Yes, some lark.
Just.
Could you mind bringing in the tea? Oh, you brought it in. There we are. Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes. A bit of a roll call scene, I think, is in order.
Oh yes.
Shall I do that?
Oh, please do.
I've got my glasses on.
Oh, good.
Lynn B, Tim T, Ron Langley, Lynn B again, Carol, Kerry Baldwin, Mark Burgess is in the house, Ron Langley, is here as well.
Yes.
Michael White, Kathy B, Lord Geoffrey Harrison.
Oh, Lord Geoffrey.
Did you know? Dave Evad, who says it's the Tank Top Boys.
Oh, the Tank Top Boys are here to play. Oh, the Tank Top Boys will make your day. Oh, the Tank Top Boys are here to stay. Tank Top Boys, you don't have to pay.
Oh, that was quality.
Wasn't that?
That's very, very good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Julia Hartley has said
Wrote it
reverb is the reverb.
Oh, the reverb. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. The reverb, it did make us sound like we were in a cave. Yeah, thank you very much.
Conor McLeod is also in the house. Clive Waterfall. I hope that's your real name.
It is his real name.
Is it? That's brilliant.
And he's actually recently become a patron.
Oh, superb.
So be very nice to him.
Oh, well played. Well played.
Yes,
well played,
well
indeed.
That's right. It's very nice.
And Clive, yes, I've done that. Ed Loud, I've just done that. Ed Loud, who may be speaking very softly, and Jason
loud.
Patrick, Welshman Jason Patrick.
Yes,
and
very
John
nice.
Foster,
Yes.
who says, "Ood evening."
Good evening. It's very lovely. Thank you so much.
And to anybody else that I may have missed.
Who were they?
Let me just put on my glasses and I'll tell.
People who have not typed their names. Who are they?
Yeah,
who are these?
They're just random people watching.
Now,
Waiting for a copyright
tonight's
strike.
schedule, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fun-packed thing. As you can see on the list, there's absolutely nothing. So we've no videos. We've only got ourselves for an hour. Well, less than an hour, because we've already managed to kill 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's only
Keep it rolling.
56 minutes to go. Good gracious. So, of course, don't forget, you can give us a call if you'd like to pick a subject for us to discuss. We'd be more than happy. We're desperate for it. Something that's on your mind that you think that our brains could possibly come up with.
Our simple brains.
Yes. Simple Minds. So we're the Tank Top Boys here. We're Simple Minds. Is Simple Minds, that's a band, isn't
Simple
it?
Minds is indeed a band.
It's not a mod band, is it?
No, they weren't really. They were classed as rock,
Idiots.
really.
No? Simple Minds?
Well,
I don't know. I
quite like-
couldn't tell you a song by Simple Minds.
Don't you forget about me.
Won't.
Copyright strike, right?
Oh, yes.
We've done it again.
There we are. That's the budget blown, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
right, yeah.
£2.50 we may have made.
Write the check.
As, gone.
How is the? I know we spoke about this briefly downstairs, but how is the non-bread eating shenanigans going for you?
The non-bread. What are we? The 18th of January 2022, and I started this on the 31st of May 1874. No, the 31st of December. So technically I've been doing it for... Why did I say it? Technically I've been doing it... Actually, I've been doing it for...
Oh, that was your thumbnail right there. Look.
Yeah. What was the question?
Yes, bread.
Yes, I've been not eating bread now for 19 days. And you know, I don't miss it.
That's good.
I don't actually miss it. But the thing that...
What's all the loaves under the...
Mother's Pride, that one there.
Mother's Pride.
Mother's Pride. Do you remember Mother's Pride?
Well, apparently I was my mother's bride.
Were
It was
you?
very good.
If you were your mother's bride, then... no.
Yes, no.
What I was
We're
gonna
going off
say-
track again.
The thing you miss, the thing I miss more is not so much the eating bread, but when you don't eat bread, what you also don't get is toast.
Ooh.
But it's not just toast, because you go, well, that's obviously bread, you idiot, isn't it? It's in a toast. Yes, I get that. But it's the butter you then don't have, because what do you
Yes.
put butter on?
Well, yeah, cheese on toast is another thing.
Cheese
isn't
on toast? Marmalade on toast? Marmite goes on... You don't have any of that.
it? Cheese on lettuce is a little bit...
Yeah, cheese on lettuce is all right. I'll have that in a
But it's-
salad.
You couldn't really grill it, could you?
You could.
Well, you
You could grill it.
Actually, I wonder if anybody else has tried that. Lettuce with cheese and then grilled.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be quite vile?
Yeah. I think you might need
And
more,
messy.
wouldn't you? Like
Well, something substantial to hold the base, because the bread...
your bread, yeah. If you didn't, you see, I wondered what you could do, because part of this is not having wheat.
Yes.
So you could say, oh, well, if you don't have... I don't know why you'd say it like that, but if you could say, it like...
You can say it any way you want.
You could do it in a more baritone voice.
Yes.
Yes, well, if you're not having wheat, you could have a muffin or a crumpet.
I said, you try getting a nice bit of crumpet under the grill. They don't like it, do they? Those women, they squeal.
Oh, then the feet stick out and they're
And
waggling
it's-
and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, we can't have that
And the
at all.
police come round. Gluten-free fruit bread. with real butter. No, I've never heard of gluten-free fruit bread.
Is that like a saurine thing, Stars?
Oh,
has
yeah.
written?
What is it? I mean, I get the fruit bit that's in the bread, but what's the bread in that then? What's the stodgy bit that turns into the bit that you put what holds the fruit together in a slice? What's that made of?
Yeah.
Like Sorrentine. What did you call it?
Saurine. Another copyright strike right there.
Is that like margarine?
It's like a malt. That's the malt loaf thing, isn't it? Margarine. Yes.
Margarine.
Sorry, a bit slow on the uptake there. Yeah. But these diet things, we were talking about this downstairs before we annoyingly had to come up. But
is that when we wrote the script?
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Yes. The one that's there on this sheet of paper, as you can see.
Yes.
That
lemon juice.
Diets are all very good, etc. When you have the time to do these things.
Yes.
Because we all lead such busy lives.
Do we?
Well, some of us do.
Some of us, apparently. I understand that people do. I've heard this rumour go around.
Yeah, that some of us actually, do go out and do things. But it's finding the time to actually do all of this stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
Like all these different diets and fads and...
Well, you don't do them all at once, obviously. I mean,
well, no.
If you haven't got much time, you're not going to do the Atkins diet, the keto diet, the paleo diet, and
Atkins diet. That's the one I was thinking about. We have a caller.
We have a caller,
and we'll come back to that conversation in a minute.
Let's find out. Hello, who's calling the old show?
Every time.
Hello, who's calling the... Hello?
Hello. Is that the Dick and Dick and Dom show?
Yes, that's right. Dick and Dumb and Dick.
Either or.
Take your pick, whichever is the one you fancy the least. Well,
Good
it's
evening.
Terry Banter. We had a sweepstake at the beginning of the show, and I have to give poor old Ricky now. What have I got here? A tenner. Look, there we are.
Thank you.
That's marvellous.
Yeah, I was just
You
wondering
get
whether
it?
I could book a slot for his next show.
Yes, of course. Where is it?
Well, I don't know. You tell me when he's coming back to...
Oh, when he's coming back to the Vobes Show.
Yes. I haven't even done this one yet.
He hasn't finished this. Give him a chance. Yeah, it could be soon. By soon I mean this year sometime. 2023, 24. So I don't know.
Yeah.
When am I next
Ricky?
likely to be desperate? Tomorrow.
Ricky.
Yeah.
I didn't see you at the Old Vic last night.
No, I wasn't there. I couldn't make it. I was busy out in the street peddling my apples and pears.
Oh.
You're a West Ender, not an East Ender.
Sorry,
No.
I'm trapped on a lead.
Trapped on the lead.
I'm trapped on a lead.
Yes.
I'm not very organised tonight. We just kind of came in.
Does
sat
your
down and
owner
went
not
for it.
let you off occasionally?
No, she doesn't at all.
It's a shame.
No,
You're on that leash all day long.
Yeah, that's right. I seem very high in the...
Oh gosh, he's gone down. Wait a minute, I'll come down to your level.
That's more like it. That's better.
There we go. We are now the midget boys. Oh no, wait, is that an offensive term? Yeah, we're dwarfed by the studio. I think you can say that. I think we can say we're
Dwarfed by the
the
studio.
studio.
That's
I think
very good.
Julia will let us have that.
Yes, that's
I
right.
do believe.
Terry.
Yeah.
Good to speak to you. How are you?
Yeah,
what
how's
have you
it going,
what,
Terry?
What have you been up to, Terry?
What have I been up to?
Yeah. Because we've been up to about 2'6", but latterly,
I went-
we're probably not much more than just a head above the shelf. To be fair with you.
Well, I went to the co-op this morning.
Oh, did you?
You can, don't you?
Was it for more of that mulled wine at Christmas?
No, it's well, I usually go there on a Tuesday because they're selling all their stuff that's reached the sell-by date.
Oh yeah. I can't quite reach the microphone. Hello.
Sorry, we're having a moment of madness, Terry. You might not be able to see this.
You might not realise what's happening in the studio, but please carry on because it's very funny.
Yeah,
So you went into your local co-op for some...
No, I was looking for, often on a Tuesday they're selling off bread. So I thought I'd change the subject. I know you like to talk about bread.
Yeah, we do.
Doesn't he just?
Yeah, I do like to talk about it.
So you went in for some bread?
Yeah, what did you get?
Baguettes, French baguettes.
Oh, baguettes. Tell me, baguettes, do you get a bag with it?
I get the long one for £1, but they were selling them off at 50p today, and I put them in the freezer. I don't eat them straight away. I'm keeping them for the 1st of February.
I've heard something somewhere about you shouldn't freeze bread.
No, you shouldn't freeze bread. Because when you defrost it, it's not as stiff as it was when it was frozen.
Well,
Yeah, it goes all limp, doesn't it?
It does. It can do.
But isn't it something about the defrosting of the bread and the water that's in it, and it can do something to the... Am I just talking a lot of old nonsense?
Yeah, believe
Terry,
it.
inform me.
Yeah.
No, you're quite right. I used to, not now, but I used to freak because there's just the one I'm eating bread at these days. I used to get a whole sort of sliced loaf, wholemeal, not white bread, and I put half of it in the freezer and have the other one on the go.
If you put a lot of slices of bread on a plate, isn't that a whole meal?
Well, it depends on your appetite.
Well, I suppose that's very true.
I mean, if you've got
And the size of the plate.
If you're a really small person, maybe a slice would be all right.
Yeah,
but if you're a very large person,
yeah,
then 5 or 6.
I know.
He's very pedantic,
Rich
isn't he?
goes
Very,
in for
very
granaries.
pedantic, this one.
You're going for granary, don't you?
Well, you leave my granary out of it.
Sorry, what was that? I caught the word posh. Were you referring to me? Or was,
No,
was I
granary.
actually? Oh, so I'm not listening. It's these headphones that I get supplied with.
Yeah, they're not plugged into anything.
I swore I thought you said I was posh, and I thought,
No.
Look, no, I'm not.
Hold your thought there a minute, Terry, because there's been a few comments that need to be addressed. And Ed Loud says, I saw no reason to avoid bread if you just end up eating another carb instead. However, I see many reasons to avoid mass-produced bread, yes. No, the point is to avoid wheat, not the carb. And by carb, I don't mean carburetor. Stars says the fruit bread that she was talking about is a mix of rice flour, Tropicana.
Tropicana. No, that's an orange drink. Oh, copyright strike. It's tapioca starch.
Oh, tapioca. Isn't that like semolina?
I believe it is.
And potato starch. That doesn't sound... All that starch doesn't sound very good. I used to use starch on my ironing. You know, you put a bit of starch on your sleeves, didn't you? Not recent. Don't you?
Well, I can...
Yeah, not recently. I haven't got the iron
Ladies
out
and
for a long
gentlemen, this
time.
is why we're wearing tank tops, by the way, because we couldn't be bothered to iron our shirts.
But we left the sleeves out as evidence.
Have you got any scissors? I'll just cut them off. People won't.
We're coming back to you, Terry. Hold your breath. Not for too long. Mr. Mocky says you can't say midget anymore. Hang on, let me just try. He's right.
Quite right, you can't.
He's quite right.
They renamed midget gems because someone got offended on behalf of vertically challenged peoples.
What does that mean, vertically challenged?
Or height.
Yes, but we're all vertically challenged, aren't we? Some people will be taller than they want to be. Some people will be shorter than they want to be. How do you define what...
I suppose it depends if you're challenged by it, if you feel challenged by your height.
Yeah.
I feel quite comfortable.
If you're up a ladder, which I imagine sometimes you are...
I'm very tall.
First thing in the morning, peering in. When I'm cleaning and...
Yes. Richard, why aren't you awake? You should be on the Sussex border walk.
Oh, yeah, is that what they're saying? Yeah. Well, anyway. So, Terry, back to you.
Yes, sorry, Terry.
Cut you off in mid-flow. No idea what you were talking about, but you'll think of something fresh.
Lateral thinking.
Yeah, good.
You're talking about vertically integrated. Lateral thinking is when you think about more than one thing at a time.
Is it?
I know men find that difficult.
Yes.
Isn't that what's the word? Multitasking.
Oh, multitask is multitasking. You see, we all multitask. I mean, people say, "Oh, it's impossible," but my heart is beating, and my lungs are breathing, and my blood is pumping around the body. My eye is seeing, and my brain's not working. All those things are multitasking.
We can tell. Yes.
Oh dear,
Coming back to the subject of bread.
Oh yes,
on the
sorry.
1st of January, I was poised, ready to order from Amazon a bread making machine.
Right.
And then I heard Richard Vobes is giving up bread for the month.
Yes, that is true.
I didn't place an order, so I didn't get one.
Oh.
Save myself 80 quid. I suppose I ought to send that a cheque to you.
Yeah, please do, because the ones I bought for my kids were only 60 quid. No,
Yeah,
20
that's
quid
right, you got
cheaper.
ripped off.
Yes, they've obviously put the price up. I got mine at special rate, you know. I got two for the price of one.
So on the back of Richard saying he was going to stop having bread, you thought you would do the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound very disappointed in that, Terry. Wishing, yes, I wish I'd never had followed
Met that Vobes character. He's put me off live. Oh dear.
And how is it working out for you, not having bread?
Well, I haven't given it up completely. I've just sort of,
okay.
So the thing is, you see, if you've not given it up completely, you should have got the bread maker and at least made your own bread. You wouldn't have all the horrible nonsense that's in it.
Yes. Did you know that there's a type of bread, and it goes back to biblical times. It's called manna, M-A-N-N-A.
Oh.
Manna.
Manna.
It's in the Bible. It's described as unleavened bread. It's got no additives, no yeast, no salt.
What is it? Just flour?
Yes, it's like a brick.
It's just a bowl of just powdering in the mess.
We call this bread in the Bible. It's nice.
No, unleavened, leavened.
Unlevel. It's all sloped in one direction. Listen, Terry, it's been lovely to talk to you, but we better move on because we can't keep this show on a level keel.
Great call, Terry.
Great.
Thank you very much. Cheerio.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was
there we
good.
are. That was Terry.
Oh, I love a bit of Terry.
From the Bible.
That's very good.
Ed Loud is saying, if you are avoiding wheat, then why must it be bread? What about pasta? Yes, I haven't eaten pasta for a month. If only a month, no big deal. I question the science behind it. You question away, mate. I'm just trying it as an experiment. Somebody said on the Tube of Views, try not eating bread for a month and see how you feel. To be honest with you, I don't feel any different. And I've got a sneaky suspicion I'll get to the end of the month and I'll still be the insane bald twit that I was when I started.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I think so. So it's. But what the reason, Ed, that this is the true reason. The reason was given. I've got to answer a phone call.
We'll come back to that conversation as well in a minute.
Could you make a list of these?
Oh,
hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Can you just bear with me 1 second whilst I just finish this one point to Ed Loud, who's watching? The point of this was that modern day bread is made with modern day wheat that has been changed in order to create bigger yields and to resist pests and all of that, and give the farmers and the big farmer more money. And in doing that, the belief is that whilst it makes this fantastic looking bread, it has nutriently nothing in it. So really one should be using heritage grains because they've been not mucked about with. So that was the thing, and I thought I'll give it a go, and then I'm going to get some red lammas, which is not a llama, but actually a heritage grain, and make some flour and go back to having bread, but in a small way. So I'm not trying to... I actually like bread and all of that, but I'm just doing it as an experiment. Over to the phone call. Hello.
Hello, caller.
It's young Ray from Horsham again.
Ah, Raymond. How the devil are you?
Raymondo.
Well, as you know, I'm on the bread diet as well.
Yes.
There's more than one of you.
Yeah.
It's not a diet. I'm just avoiding bread. Simple as that.
No, it's just avoidance of certain things, isn't it? It's not necessarily a dietary thing or whatever.
No, exactly. But what I can say is, it's like anything. If you can measure it and see if there's any change in the measures, then there must be some. It must have some effect.
Yes.
But I measure my blood pressure daily.
Right.
Not that I'm about to drop dead. Well, I hope I'm not about to drop dead.
Oh my goodness! Please don't do that on the show, for goodness' sake.
But my
that's all right if you do. But
my top line blood pressure is about 140.
Is that good?
And well, that's what my doctor said. You've got to keep it because I'm on these tablets. Have been for years, but it should be about 140, 135, 140. The top line over about 66, 68, whatever. Yeah. That's the top line.
Right.
But funny enough, since after about a week, because I started not having bread after Boxing Day, after Boxing Day, having watched the same video as you.
Yeah.
And
so you've been in a bit longer than me.
Yeah, and my blood pressure has dropped to be in the 120s now.
And have you changed anything else?
No. Well, a little bit of the apple cider vinegar I told you about the other week. But that's relatively recent and not that much of it. It's
right.
A sip here and there. But it's the bread that's the main thing.
But sorry to interrupt you, but just by taking bread out of your diet also means, like I said before, you suddenly take out a bit of butter or whatever you put on your bread. Plus, if you put, all the things that you would have put on your bread, you no longer eat those as well. So right. Maybe there's a bit of a knock-on effect on the other things.
Well, I've never had marmalade on mine. The only sort of stuff I have on toast would be the butter.
Right.
A nice bit of butter.
Oh, yeah. And there's and that's real butter, is it? It's not these margarine sort of...
No, the proper stuff.
Yeah.
Proper
stuff. That vegetable oil sloshing about pretending to be butter.
No, that's right.
But as I said before, I feel a bit sprightlier. I wouldn't say I'm a bit lighter yet. I feel a bit lighter, but I don't think I'm frightened to measure myself on the scales. But certainly the blood pressure, which I measured, has definitely dropped into a very positive area.
Seems to be working out quite well.
Yes,
I'd be interested
I would say it is.
How long are you doing this for? Are you doing it for the 30 days like Richard is?
Yeah, I'm doing the same as Richard. I'll do it to the end of January.
Well, till the end of January, you'll have to come back on the show and you can compare notes.
So the thing is then,
and then stuff
Ray,
your face full of...
do you feel at the moment that you will continue to not have bread, or do you feel like I feel, I will go back to having bread, but certain type of bread, but less of it?
Yeah, less of it. I still enjoy an occasional slice of toast. Well, not at the moment, but I will look forward
you nearly
to having
dumped yourself in there.
No, a slice of toast.
I have a slice of toast and a bit of bread with it.
Yeah,
love
occasionally.
It. Bit of bread on toast, nothing wrong with that.
And I've given it up.
I won't go back to having toast for breakfast and toast in the evening, whatever I've had before.
Yeah, because bread is a very convenient food, isn't it? You come in, you think, I'll just have a sandwich.
Well, that's the thing, because nobody has the time these days to do all these different things and different
what kind of life are you living where you don't have this time?
You can't make time to do all these... having no bread... Okay, or specific wheats. You said you want to go over to Heritage Grains. We were saying earlier that means you've got to order it from there and then wait for it to come in and this and that, and then I've got all these other things that people cut out of their diets that they can't have and stuff. I mean, who has the time to do all of these things? We live such busy lives.
But you don't have to lead such a busy life.
Some people do in order to survive and live. Depending on
you obviously got your work.
Yes.
But all that time that you're not working, you're doing something. Unless you just slumped in front
of the... Yeah, but half the time, a lot of these people, I've got friends who come back from work, they're absolutely shattered, and they look at each other across a dimly lit room with one energy bulb in there, and they look at each other and go, what should we have for dinner tonight? And I don't know. Should we just have a TV dinner or something? And all they end up doing is eating bread from the bag, dipping it in anything runnier than bread.
Well, all the time they're moaning about what shall we have, and they're arguing. All that ticky time there, they could have made their own bread.
You could think so, but there's always the thing of in order to eat healthy, you shouldn't eat some processed supermarket food. You have to go to the greengrocers or the fruiterers, great word, fruiterers, to get that. And it's time that you have to spend driving here, there, and then you can't get parked because of the... Yes.
Right, we'll just shut him up for a second. Ray, I haven't forgotten that you're hanging on there thinking, I'm paying for this call.
No. You're paying.
You see my
you're paying.
You see my point, though. Some people don't have the time to do these things.
No, I've nothing to add really. That just to say, it's working for me. I've got a measure on it, and I'm keeping a check.
Well,
that's good.
And I think you're absolutely right, because I've got no measure of it other than do I feel any different. But then I've already cocked it up by suddenly deciding I'm on these beans and peas and pulses and legumes and all that. Yeah. So legumes. So who knows whether I'm actually got any benefit? But so you've done a scientific test on this by measuring your blood pressure.
Yeah.
I've got a measure on it, and that's it. And just a point on the apple cider vinegar. It's no good you having it because you don't get much dandruff on your head, do you?
No, not much. Not that. Do you know? I cured dandruff by getting rid of my hair.
Yeah,
that would do it. Yeah,
obviously works.
Yeah, it does. A treat.
I'll nip off the phone now and carry on with some other conversation, but we've got a measure on it, and I'll let you know how we get on in a couple of weeks'
Fantastic.
time.
Well,
that would
very
be
much
interesting to see a side-by-side comparison.
And then I want to come back to you in a month after that to find out whether you've gone back to lashings of butter and loads of whatever.
Right. Marmalade.
Whether the habit, whether the old habit has just, Because all the time you're doing a test, you can go, no, I won't do it because I can last to the end of January. But when it end of January, oh yeah, it doesn't matter now, does it? I'll have another 700 loaves of bread. Who cares?
Yeah, with Marmite, marmalade, butter, jam, all
lot.
on top of the one slice.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay.
Take
Cheerio.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we are. That's Ray from Horsham.
Oh yes, I can take these off.
You
now.
can take them off.
Yeah.
How
we
marvellous.
should go through some of the comments.
Yes,
because
we're going to go
coming
through the
in.
comments. Just give us a second before you call in, ladies and gentlemen. So Ed Loud says, I hope you do the same in Sainsbury. We have another call.
Oh, we have another
call.
This is great.
We're trying to get to the comments.
We will get to your comments.
We will get to it, yeah, in due course. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, caller. Welcome to... Who is it, please?
Sean from London.
Oh, Sean, how the devil are you? Are you off bread? Off your head? What?
You make the time.
Yes, you make the...
No, you do. I know. I realise. I appreciate, Sean, that you have to make the time. But I have some friends who they've got multiple jobs. They do this and that, and they've got 19,000 kids, etc.
But the question you've got to ask is
and
why...
sometimes they don't have the time.
No, but I
to
used to say to myself that I haven't got the time, and then my health just got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah,
so you have to make the time. Like I pay a membership to the gym. I don't go because I keep saying, "Oh, I haven't got the time," so I just
You
cancel
could
it.
pay somebody else to go, couldn't you?
Is it because you don't have time to go to the gym?
No, it's because I can't be bothered to get off my fat ass.
Well, I applaud your honesty, Sean.
Exactly.
I really do.
And the thing is, you don't really need to go to the gym, as you have got a garden and an allotment, or you're getting an allotment, but you've got your garden and you dig it up. I mean, I watched a video of you 6 months ago, whenever it was when you took over that new garden, and there you are, digging away, and I thought by the end of it, he's going to be a thin, sprightly chap who will bounce at us. So you...
And then he hired a digger.
And... Yeah, no, he didn't. But that would have been actually...
Problem with gardening is I have been stopping and having too many cakes. But since I've been doing intermittent fasting for the last month,
yes,
where I only eat between the hours of 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., I've found that I've become far more I'm not really interested in food. I'll eat food because I have to eat it. But
so you're treating it as a fuel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but because I'm only eating in that short time period, I'll have my breakfast, my dinner, and something breakfast, lunch, and something at 5. Then the dinner at 5. I've become far more. What's the word?
Don't know.
Interested in the food that I'm having.
So here's a tip for you, and it's just random on the top of my head. When you say, you just eat food for fuel, and I'm sure millions of people just treat food as if it is just for fuel and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And they say they're not interested in food. And I get that. And here's a way, I think, to become interested in food. And I think this is a killer, and I think... No, it's not a killer. I mean, it's not... I think this is a brilliant way, and I've just thought of it. And I only know it because I've been doing it for somebody. Cook for somebody else. When you cook for somebody else, you start thinking about, okay, what am I going to cook? Okay, I'm going to cook this. What's the recipe? You start to think, okay, I'm going to cook. Then you want to cook it nicely. It's not like, I'm not saying go to the army canteen and become a member of, slot or work for the prison and just give them some porridge, mate. There you go. Lovely. No, cook for somebody. Some gruel. If you're cooking for somebody else, you start to think about it. You think, well, what goes with this and what goes with that? So occasionally, lovely Julia comes over, and I think to myself, right, okay, I'll cook something, and it becomes interesting. And
yeah.
The other option, of course, this is another option for you, Sean. You'll find this one very easy and appealing. Make a video.
I just don't ask people to come over for food.
Because if I'm making it, what did you say? Just come.
I think Sean said I don't ask anybody to come over and have food.
Ah, well.
The thing is, when I'm invited out to a place, people know by now. I need to know what the restaurant is because I need to know what food they. Because I used to be really, really fussy with food.
Yes.
But now I look at food as more of sort of a medicine.
Right.
So,
well, it kind of is, isn't it? As well as
yeah.
Because if you eat good food, then it's doing you medicinal purposes. I get that.
but I'm finding that the less I eat, obviously I'm losing weight. I've lost a stone in a month, but I don't feel like at 8 o'clock that I need to eat something. It took about a week to get into this new cycle, but the trick is just to drink loads of water in order to fill up the stomach.
One of my friends, Sean, was trying to get back into drinking water. We talked briefly about this downstairs, and the idea was how much water is it per day that you are supposed to drink? I think it was about 8 litres or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. And the first pint of water that he drank, it was purely like, I need to go to the toilet. And then he would go through this process of every day trying to increase the amount of water intake.
What was he drinking then before he drank?
Not a lot of, cups of tea and coffee, but it's just water he's drinking.
Oh, I see. I mean, tea and coffee have got water
in them, yeah. But there was something about
a very dry bag.
That's right. All these granules, they're not really my thing.
Dry your
so
mouth.
he tried drinking as much water per day as possible that he could physically take on board.
Yeah.
And by in the middle of the month or something, he said he could drink about 5 or 6 pints of water, but he was going to the toilet less, even though he was drinking.
Where did the water go?
And he felt better. He felt better for it. So there's something.
But if you're putting in 5 or 6 pints and you're only outputting
less, your body must need the water. It just goes to show you how much your body needs water.
About 1.5 litres a day.
Is it 1.5?
1.5.
It doesn't seem a lot though, does it? 1.5 litres a day. I thought it was higher than that.
But I found because
I'm sure he said 8 litres of water a day. I think.
Does he mean for his shower? I mean, or his bath?
Hold on, let me just check. How much water should you eat per day in the UK? The Eat Well guide says you should drink between 6 to 8 glasses.
Oh, glasses. Well, I'm not going to tell him. How big's the glass? If it's a small glass, I'm just going to laugh at him for drinking 8 litres a day.
Goodness gracious.
I'm just having a quick look now, and it doesn't actually say what the glass is.
Made of sand, I think.
See-through.
But I used to find that when I went into central London every day, I would always go and buy the water. So I would drink it going in, I'd drink it throughout the day. But when you're in the house, you don't. And by drinking the water, I've drunk less tea. Therefore, I've taken in less sugar. Although people find it funny because when they say, do you want any sugar? I say, I have to do it because I'm literally just putting a grain in. Because I've tried it without any sugar and it just tastes like.
So, but why just the one
dishwasher?
Why one grain of?
Are we on a parallel universe tonight?
How much sugar would you like? Oh, just 1 grain.
Tuesday night is the ethereal show of which there's no rhyme or reason.
Just 1 tiny grain.
So I suppose is it a psychological thing?
Wait a minute. Hang on. Hold on. How do you differentiate between 1 grain and 1 tiny grain? How do you know what is one grain is a tiny grain and 1 grain isn't tiny?
Because you have your sugar granule measuring device.
Yes,
of course.
Isn't that funny? But that's a sort of mode of speak, isn't it? A tiny grain. Well, of course it's tiny.
I'm not going to bandy the goose with you tonight. But let's go back to I Haven't Got Time.
Yeah, let's go.
There we go.
I agree with you. Poor old show ain't got time.
Yes, I rest my case.
This is what people say. Oh, I haven't got time. I haven't got time to go. I haven't got time to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I haven't got And then when you drill it down, they haven't got time because they're busy sort of going and doing something else, which is even worse for them.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
People always say I haven't got time, and of course they have got time because anything you really want. If somebody said, well, here is £1 million, but you've just got to drive 2 hours and get it. And you go, I'm very busy. Actually, I haven't got time. It's like, there's £1 million. It's yours. You've got to drive 2 hours. It's as simple as that. No, sorry, mate. If it was 20 million, yeah, maybe.
Sorry, Taggart's on.
Yeah, Taggart's on. There's something on the other channel. I've just got to watch. Seen EastEnders today. £1 million. Find out if Peggy's been stabbed. I don't know.
But the thing is, you go to the toilet every day because you have to. You could easily say, I haven't got time.
I haven't got time to go for a wee. That's why I just wear wet trousers.
That's why we're here for an hour with no videos. Like an excuse to go to the lab.
Yeah. You can see how we're crossing our legs at this moment.
I wake up in the morning and I go and jump on the scale.
Do you?
And if I'm not happy, I go to the toilet, I jump on, and then I've lost a pound.
And on that note, thank you very much, Sean James Cameron. Lovely to talk to you.
I can't talk to you because I ain't got time.
No good.
No, that's right. Nobody's got time.
Toodlebye.
Well, he has. He's just hung up as well because he hasn't got the time.
No, he's watching that Vobes Show thing. He's always watching the Vobes Show. I don't know why.
That was good. There's been some cracking calls.
Right. Ramy Boo says, an American cup is... in America, it is 8 cups.
You got there eventually.
Yeah, 1 cup equals 8 ounces, so 64 ounces.
Crikey, 64
ounces. Yes.
How big's the large?
I don't know. Going back here, Ed Loud says water should be 2 litres. Lisa Ramibu says some wheat gluten, is it? Supposedly, that's why you have to sub nut flour for you.
Talk to me, Richard, about your nut flour.
Well, some mornings I just grate them together.
Yes.
I've done sub your nut flour
that's just
for your wheat flour if you bake. Oh, jeepers. Creepers. So, Conor McLeod says 12-hour day, 4 days a week, no time to make designer bread, pass a Chinese on the way home, and I call in. 12 hours a day.
Yes.
But
see, this is the thing. You see, there are people out there.
I don't believe that people do not have time, because people can make time. They don't have to work those hours. Because you said some people have got this job and that job and that job. Why? To make money, presumably.
Yes, for whatever reason.
But why have they got the money? Because they got a big house, a big car, a subscription to all the different things. Yeah. And so then they say, well, I've got all this, I have to work all these hours so that I can eat crap food. Mm. But surely it would be better to say, well, I don't need those things, so I can eat the one thing that's important to me. In actual fact, apart from a roof over my head and water in my thing, is my bucket, is healthy food.
Yes, no, there is a certain...
But people don't want to have healthy food, do they? They'll do what Conor McLeod says and just go to a Chinese in which you have no idea what's in that food.
No, it's a treat. It could be his treat day.
Well, it might be his treat day, but you still don't know what's in the food.
We will get some more callers... comments soon.
Yeah, we'll get more comments. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to... who is it?
Hello, you two. It's Ed Loud.
Ed Loud. Lovely to talk to you. Come on, wrap our fingers over the knuckles about the terrible thing that we've been saying about bread. Because I know
you might not want to talk about that.
No, he may not.
No, I don't think it's terrible at all. I think I know your personality well enough to know that you'll go back to bread and you'll make it properly.
Yes.
And that's something I'm crying out for, is for people who can eat gluten and eat bread to make it properly.
Yes.
And wherever possible to buy the best wheat you can possibly buy. Mm. And maybe cut back on a few cheeseburgers or a piece of steak and spend your money on your grains.
Yes.
And
use your brains, spend the money on grains.
Times, don't get me wrong, there's times in my life where the best I can do is a packet of wholemeal from Sainsbury's, but it was the best I could do at the time.
And nobody can criticise anybody if they're doing the best they can do.
Exactly,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, and when I said I questioned the science, it was the stuff about sugar and things like that.
Right.
You know, obviously a lot of what I call packet bread has sugar added to it.
Right.
Yes.
And I always feel it's added sugar we need to avoid. Obviously, things like apples and pears are
apples and pears,
sugar in them, but you don't avoid them, do you? They're very good for you and very nutritious.
Somebody said to me in one of the comments, actually, they said, "Oh, Richard, you're an idiot." I said, "Yeah, you're probably right."
Moving on.
Somebody else said, "Oh, Richard, you know, apples should only be eaten in the autumn when they fall off the trees, because the rest of the time they're fattening you up, or the sugars are bad for you." And I thought, well, that's funny, isn't it? Because we do actually keep apples from, the point I think he meant was you shouldn't buy apples from other countries and bring them in, which I kind of sort of agree, because I think buying locally is better for you. However, I remembered my father used to put apples in the loft, and I remember Easter time, there'd still be these apples, brown, manky, shriveled things, but we would eat them.
In the loft?
Yeah, we'd have to sit in the loft.
I guess any food is going to be better when it's fresh.
Yes.
If you look at things nutritionally, but you also have to draw a line somewhere between, am I going to spend 3 hours sourcing the absolute best black cracked pepper? Or, so...
Say that again. We like the way you said that. Just say that.
The absolute best black cracked
pepper. No,
pepper.
hang on. Hang on, wait. Say it now.
The absolute best black cracked pepper.
Oh, fantastic. There we go. I just had to put a bit of reverb on there.
Yeah, that was good.
Fantastic. You're quite right. I mean, you can only source the food from where you can source the food. And
I just always think, go for the things you eat the most and try and make them the best you can possibly get, and cut corners on the little things, the things you don't eat so often. But the staple foods, just do the best you can do in your situation. So what you're doing, I think, is admirable. You're going out of your way to make a change. So I'm not attacking you at all.
No, I don't. It doesn't matter.
I wish somebody would.
Yeah. With a hatchet. John B says Ed Loud is the voice of reason.
Capital letters.
Well, I've never been called that before.
Well, you have now.
I've not been called reasonable since I made this decision about my diet many years ago to be vegan in between meals and snacks. And since that day, I've not.
I thought you were going to say, I'm going to be vegan in between all the meat dishes.
Yes, that's right.
But you didn't say that, so that's me being stupid.
Healthy eating, though, does tend to cost a little bit more, doesn't it?
It depends whether the price of food...
Do you think? Because if you go to
more than what, though?
Well, if you go to a supermarket, you can pick up, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but there is a train of thought, not necessarily mine, these views are not mine, that going to a supermarket is quite easy. Everything's available there.
It's true.
Everything that you buy these days has already been pre-frozen for the last 6 months.
Right.
Like apples, peas, pears, and goodness knows what that you pick up. So why should you then pay more money for it not to be frozen for 6 months? Do you see my point?
I do.
Because you can go to a local fruiterer, okay, and you will have some fresh apples that you might spend £9.50. But if you went to a supermarket,
you can't get frozen apples in a supermarket.
But no, you don't buy them frozen. But they freeze all of their stuff before they're shipped out.
Yeah.
As soon as it's picked, it's in the fridge.
Yes.
And you're paying. I know there's a.
But you said your first point.
It's mass-produced food,
yes.
Hence why it's provided to you cheaper.
Yes.
But to go to and this sticks in my claw a little bit, that when you go to a fruiterer or a greengrocer, etc., sometimes you have to pay over and above the odds for purely because you want to eat more healthily.
Well, the choice...
I think there's an element there of the fact that we've got so used to these artificially low prices.
Yes.
And when you compare what we spend on food in the United Kingdom to the proportions of their budgets in many countries that they'll spend on food, they spend a lot more money on food as part of their budget in a lot of other countries, including developed countries in the EU.
Well, I think you're right.
To see how low our prices are. On the other hand, having been surviving on £67.50 or thereabouts for many years of my life, I understand that it's very difficult. You can't just go and buy everything from a tip-top artisan place.
No,
you have to.
Everybody does have the time to make sourdough bread every day, like someone I know.
But absolutely. But the thing is, I mean, you sort of hit upon it here, and it's your priorities. The reason some people will spend more money on food from wherever is because they perceive that the value of the food or the quality of the food is better than the other food.
Yes.
And so we have, I think, artificially lowered the price of food, but in doing that, we may not actually, that food that you talk about, that is cheap, there may be a reason why it's cheap, because it may not be any bloody good.
Yes.
Some of the stuff they sell in supermarkets is just as good as what you'd get anywhere else. But some of it is almost like hollow calories, and the nutrition in it is not as good as what you might get somewhere a lot more expensive, for argument's sake. But at the same time, I think if people want to make one big change, go for your staple product, the thing you eat the most, and try and make a change in that. And I think the benefits you would get from that are far outweigh the benefits you would get from selecting 100 carefully chosen items of fruit and vegetables that you hardly ever eat and sourcing them. And, you know, they're seasonal and they're coming and going. Just go for that one big bulk product you buy the most and put time and care and effort into that. So it might be your rice, your bread. It might be whatever the big things are that you eat the most. Try and source them a bit better.
Well, you make a lot of sense. You talk a lot of sense there.
Yes.
Conor McLeod has an observation, and I'm going to pass this over to Ricky because he has the answer to this. Is there such a thing as a fruiterer anymore? Because he has never seen one, but Ricky.
Yes, well, if you scroll through Richard's videos, the last outing that we did, we went to Fernhurst, and there was a fruiterer on the corner.
Yeah, with the words.
Yes,
Fruiterer.
Yeah, haven't seen that for a long, long time.
No.
A dying breed.
Yeah, absolutely. So they do exist.
There's a lovely greengrocer's not too far from me, but the prices are very heavy, and I have to admit I hardly ever shop there.
And it's a shame, isn't it, that the prices are...
Since I've had a bit of money in my pocket, I've mainly just been trying to get the best wheat I could, well, the best flour I could. There's a lot of heritage brands I'm trying and seeing what's on the market at the moment. And that's the thing I worry myself with. Fruit and veg and things like that. I don't eat the same vegetables every day, and I don't eat the same
I don't, because once I've
swallowed
them...
For me, flour's the thing that makes sense. I know people that spend a lot of money on their milk, for example, because they eat milk every day.
Yeah.
And they have cereal every morning, and that makes perfect sense. You know, milk is the thing that they're taking every day, so they put a lot of time and effort into that. And I'm not knocking anybody when I question them. Sometimes I'm asking questions because I might do it myself. So,
Linda Kane says a lot of fruit and veg from greengrocers are obtained, she says, from the same sources as those in the supermarkets, and they probably are no more nutritious, and that may well be true.
That is true.
And how do you know? But
this is paying above the normal.
Yeah, and somebody on my comments also said why, you know, what you have to do is go to a supermarket, buy all your fruit and veg from there, stick it on a little corner shop and increase the price tenfold, and that's how you make money, and people will buy.
And this is why it takes so long to source well-grown, well-managed food, because it doesn't, just because you're paying more for something in the local greengrocers doesn't mean it's any better.
No, but
it honestly takes hours of research to find one item.
Yeah.
And it just becomes ridiculous.
Well, of course. And the problem is that we've got into this situation in which we've allowed the mass market and supermarkets to affect how food is produced, so that the greengrocer can no longer find locally produced, organic, real food, and at a price that he can sell. So he's buying it from somewhere, you know, he's buying it from basically the only people who are left who are growing the stuff. This is why I keep saying I want to see smaller farms, mixed farms, but farms that also do what market gardens, you know, would do. That is your carrots and your potato. Because when you go round a farm these days, you see cows and sheep and grain. But you don't see.
I don't know why I did that.
Why did you do that? You don't see lines of cabbages. You don't see potatoes. You don't see carrots in the ground. These are all by, you know, market garden or what are they called? They're horticulturists.
It's economics, isn't it? It's cold, harsh economics, unfortunately. But
so Norfolk,
maybe now we've maybe now we've left the EU. Maybe, I doubt this will happen, but you never know. Maybe the government of the day will decide to support farmers that do such things and try and get rid of a bit of the monoculture. I pray and live in hope.
Here's the thing: we missed, or the government missed, a huge opportunity when COVID came, because instead of frightening everybody and saying you've got to stay indoors until you're virtually dead and then go to the hospital, don't go out in the sunshine, don't pass this thing around. What they should have been doing is saying, look, there's a pandemic coming, there is this virus, it's not really that great unless you happen to be very old and got comorbidities. The best thing to do is to get your health right up to speed, and the best way of doing that is we're going to invest money in places that are going to grow good food, good quality, because that's what you need. And
a new land army of allotments.
Exactly. And encourage and give people who've got allotments money and smaller farms, and anybody's got a horse on a paddock, chop that up and dig up the thing and get real food into the ground again and supply people with real food. And then when they made all those sort of things, it's like the Second World War, this pandemic, isn't it, where we all get on with it? Within the Second World War, everybody says they were much more healthy at that time because they were digging for victory. We should have done that. Instead of relying on these services where you text somebody and they come on their bicycle and deliver you a pizza which has got barely anything of any value in it, and you're noshing there, sitting inanimate in front of a screen, talking to somebody, just eating pap. We missed an opportunity. By now, 2 years down the line, we could have had an absolute whole new attitude about health and things like crisps and chocolate and pizzas and takeaways would be a treat, not an everyday occurrence.
Some people do have that
absolutely
all the time, don't they? Admittedly, they do.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to just fall into the trap of. This goes back to what I was saying earlier.
It's because they're lazy. People are lazy.
Well, there is that to it.
And they don't have priorities about their... Sorry, Ed.
No, sorry, I was interrupting actually. But I've been there myself. I've had months of my life wasted where I just couldn't be bothered, and it was so easy to call a takeaway. Especially when I was looking after my dad. I gained 4 stone when I was looking after my dad, and it was just so easy to call up a takeaway, and it was so difficult to find real good food when I'm stuck indoors looking after someone.
Of course.
To this sort of land army idea, when I was unemployed for those months during the pandemic, I would have honestly welcomed if my so-called work advisor, or whatever they were called at the job centre, had said to me, do you know what, Ed, go and help these farmers dig up these new allotments or something like that. They'll teach you how to do it and go for it, and then we'll pay you your benefits. I would have welcomed that.
Yeah.
It would put me up off my backside.
Well,
they wouldn't do that. They'd say, that's modern slavery. We can't do that.
Yeah,
but I would have welcomed it.
It's a ridiculous thing. I mean, one of the things that we could have done again was to, by the time we got these little farms up and running, you could have had, so that you're saying that people could find it difficult, but you could have had the same sort of thing as a milk float, but be a fruit and veg float. Coming down the street, it would park up, you'd come out and go, I'll have a pound of tomatoes, a pound of this, pound of that. And you know that it's just come from,
floating vegetables.
From the farm just down the road. Oh, nice. Anyway, Ed, we better move on. But Ed, look after yourself. Thanks for the call.
Good call, Ed. Good call.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Interesting. Thanks very much. That was Ed Loud.
He spoke very softly.
He spoke very softly. Ray of Hope says, you see fields of vegetables in Essex fields, as they say, in Essex fields. If Kent is the garden of England, then Essex is the cabbage patch. And that's the problem, is that these things are sort of signed off in mass production in one area, and I call... Yodley!
Oh, have you got reverb on that?
Yes, I should have. I call for the small mixed farms, so you're not swathes of places doing it, but you've got stuff in season... locally. I mean, it just seems so logical, and because everybody will say, oh, you can't do that. Everyone's happy to put blocks in your... People are happy to put excuses.
Buildings.
They put all buildings in the way. They'll put the half-empty glass. Oh, no, but you can't do it for this reason. You can't do it. Instead of going... I wonder if you could do that.
Is there a caller coming in?
There is. I wonder if you could. I wonder how possible it would be. That's the thing that we need people to be, is more positive about it. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Calls coming in thick and fast.
Thick and fast. Who's this? Thick or fast? Hello?
It's Nick from Oregon.
Nick from Oregon. How are you, Nick?
Pretty good. It's pissing down rain here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hang on a minute. We'll just turn the weather down.
Yes, you can.
There we go. You'll find it does take a bit of time for the hose pipe to stop.
Yeah, there's a certain delay from our end, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, at least there's no chance of fires up here, at least.
No chance.
All being wet and green.
Absolutely. So tell us, Nick, how's it going with you?
Good, thanks. I was just watching your show. I thought I'd give you a quick call. You just reminded me when I was living in California. I've got an Irish friend that runs the pharmacy in a grocery store. Like, it's called Safeway here, but
that's really funny. The way you say that, a pharmacy in a grocery store, a pharmacy in a grocery store. Get it?
Yeah, well, they have like a drug store inside the food stores here.
Yes.
But when I was not well about 5 years ago, as you may all remember,
I do.
I remember him telling me. He said, "Nick," he said, "all you need to do, to get healthy," he said, "down the right side of this grocery store is all the vegetables and fruits, and at the back wall is all the fish and meat." He said, "Just stick to that." He said, "The other 8 or 9 aisles are just completely full of garbage. It's all sugar, processed food." Because if you stick away from all that crap and just eat the food down one side of the wall and down the back, you'll be fine.
Yeah. And the thing is,
it helped, and I lost a lot of weight.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you a quick question? Are you an expat?
Yeah.
I used to do something called the British Pages years ago.
Julia has written in the comments, Nick in Oregon. Where in England are you from? I can't hear any American lilt.
I always, yes, in a sense, yes, I am an expat, but I don't ever regard myself as an expat. Right, okay. Because even though I live abroad, I'm still patriotic to Britain.
Yes.
Da 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 da.
Wait, that's not British.
No, it's not.
What's that? The French national anthem, something, wasn't it? Da, 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 da.
That's just a bit of rubbish right there.
But the other thing I wanted to add, while I know because you're near the end of the show, I just wanted to say earlier you were talking about people don't have time.
Yeah.
To make food or whatever. But so last year during the pandemic, I couldn't go to I could go to the gym, but everyone has to wear masks, and I couldn't do cardio anymore because it's become a nightmare trying to breathe.
Absolutely.
With a mask on.
You turn into Darth Vader, wouldn't you?
It was terrible. And so I said, screw this, I'm not doing this. And so if you've got the money, I actually invested and I bought myself a cross trainer, or they call it an elliptical machine here. And it was about $600, I think, on sale. Anyway, I've got it in my apartment, and I use it 3-4 times a week, and I absolutely love it because I've got no excuse, because it's in the house, and I get home, get changed, and I just go on it for 30 minutes. And that way I don't have to faff around packing my bag, driving to the gym, getting changed, then working out, then getting changed, having a shower, and driving home. I think that's what might put people off, but it's just there, so just use it and work from home.
I mean, I think inherently people are lazy, and they use we don't have time as an excuse. And you've just given us the story. You were quite ill, and you stuck to those 2 aisles of fresh veg, meat and fish, and you didn't go down all the other processed food. And I think if you said to somebody, if somebody had gone to the doctor and they said, look, you need to eat well, I haven't got time, and they said, well, you've got 6 months to live, I think they might make time if they knew that they were likely to die within a certain limited period. Now, here's a thing. We're all going to die. Sorry to upset everybody, but we're all going to die at some point.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's spoiler alert. And the thing is, we might live a bit longer if we looked after ourselves, or we can let the doctors look after ourselves, like my dear old dad was looked after, but his quality of life for those last years of his life was rubbish. And I know he would rather have been dead than kept alive. And my philosophy is, I want to look after myself so I live a bit longer, but the longevity is actually quality life. not just existence.
No, I'm not saying that.
You're not saying anything.
No, I'm not. I couldn't get a bloody word in edgeways.
That's true. Very difficult.
But do you think some people, when they are faced with their own mortality, then decide to change things?
Well, they probably are, but that's because people don't think that they are mortal, do they?
Well, no, that's right, exactly.
Knew you were going to die on the 23rd of April.
Well, then people change their minds about things, but it's educating people to do it before that happens.
Yes.
Rather than waiting until the last minute and then suddenly realising, oh, I've only got 6 months of listening to him. I better, I'd like to make it 12. Then I need to do something else. You know what I mean, though.
Mm.
I think that happened to me. I burned myself out. I was not sleeping the correct hours. I was burning the candle at both ends. I was drinking way too much caffeine. I wasn't drinking enough water. I was eating garbage food. I was spending too much time playing on the PlayStation, just kind of not working out, and then so when it all hit me, I was very obsessed then with trying to get better because I was feeling awful, and so I was obsessively researching, learning all about exercise and food and vitamins and all that kind of stuff, and so it was a complete education overall for me. But I mean, as I say before that, I didn't really think too much about it, really. But then midlife hit me, and I got sick, and I was like, "Oh shit, I can't live like this."
Do you think that? Do you think? No, understandable. Do you think that we don't consider our health very much because we have things like health services, and we have, we just seem to think, well, we can work it out at some point in the future. So, for example, I know people who smoke, who eat processed food, who eat, a lot of wrong things. I mean, a lot of people. I'm not particularly picking anybody out. But let's just take smoking as a thing, because a lot of people still do it. And they know that it's not good for them. And there may be a whole load of reasons why they can't give up at the moment. Except if they had a problem with their lung and the doctor said, well, if you don't give up smoking in the next 6 months, you're dead, they would give up. However, all the time they think that they are immune to any problem, they're going to carry on smoking.
Yeah, exactly.
But when, all you're doing is pushing that can down the road because it's going to get you. Okay, not everybody. There will be that 83-year-old person who's smoked 50 a day and they're wizened and has dried up, knurled little thing going, is it all right? I never did it. But they are the exceptions. And
other impersonations to follow.
This is what I don't understand. People aren't thinking about their future self. And by future self, I might mean 10 years down the line. But I might mean tomorrow. Because what you do today is helping what happens tomorrow. And
it's very true. You need to be educated. You need to make more time.
And you need to do what I bloody well say. No, ultimately, everybody has whatever they want to do, and they make the decision.
Yeah.
But I would hate to be in that. I would hate to see somebody who said, "Why didn't you ever tell me or force me to stop eating donuts, or smoking, or injecting heroin, or whatever it is? Why didn't you stop me?" When they've had the call from the doctor to say, "I'm sorry, but..."
Yeah.
I hate to sound mean, but I think it's hard. Like, when I go to the grocery store, and I'm standing in line, and the person in front of me has got a trolley full of garbage food and, processed food, and they're, 350 pounds, and you look at them, you think, this isn't helping you. But but the thing is, you can't say this to people because you have to respect that it's their own lives and their own decisions.
Yeah.
Maybe that lifestyle was just taught to them, or maybe they're not educated in the area. But I don't ever recall. I vaguely recall when I was at school in England that we did have some lessons about food, and I think I remember we watched a video once where a guy was running down the street after it was just random, but he was running after his pram that ran off, and he ended up having a heart attack. And I remember they tried to tell us about the benefits of being healthy, but then once you leave school, I don't know. It's not constant education, I don't think. But I think at least with the internet now, and YouTube videos and stuff like that, I think at least there's more information out there.
Yeah, the information is readily available. It's just trying to get people to look at it sometimes, isn't it? Which is why Richard bores us so frequently with his stories of wheat. In tomorrow's video, by the way.
Yeah, tomorrow is Thursday's video, because it's almost like the Wednesday show, but it's not the Wednesday show because you're not Julia, and Julia's not in on the Wednesday show now. Well, she's on Friday. Listen, we are a bit over time, but we're happy to take a few more calls because Ricky's got nowhere to go.
No, absolutely not. I'm staying in the loft tonight, all with the apples.
With Eric. So, Nick, lovely to talk to you, and thank you so much for that interesting story.
Yes, good call.
All right, bye-bye.
You take care.
TTFN.
There we go. That was Nick, who used to listen to the old Vobes Show years and years ago and ran something called the British Pages, which was very patriotic. Good for you, sir.
Yes, da. Oh, no, don't.
Don't do the French thing. Sean James Cameron says the key is that you need to start to love and look after yourself first. It's true. I think that is true. It's so difficult because you don't want to be preachy and tell people, because ultimately, I don't know if I'm right. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe eating processed foods, chain smoking, putting donuts into your gob, standing in front of juggernauts is a healthy option. I don't know. All you can do is be able to try and vocalise what you think is a good idea, and it's down to everybody else.
Yes, totally agree with that. As we said, it's about education and finding the time.
Absolutely,
to do all these kind of things.
So, chocolate fudge cake with
absolutely, yes, and a slice of that lovely bread you made earlier.
Oh, yeah, lovely. Oh, shush, don't tell them about
that. We should really go through some of the comments.
Yeah, go through them.
We're so sorry that we haven't gone through a lot of the comments.
Are we that sorry?
Well, not really. Lord Jeffrey Harrison has said, the Vobes Show, this is putting me right off my Chinese.
That may be a good thing.
It could be. Dave Evad has said, do not forsake me.
Donut for sale. I no longer want this. £5 on eBay.
What else have we got? Linda Kane right at the top says it usually takes a health scare or a close friend or relative to make you think of your own mortality.
Yes,
like we said, it's very true. Anything more coming in? No, there was loads of comments at the top that we missed, wasn't there? Ricky hit the nail on the head there. Education schools should do more. Food and home economics should be in the national curriculum more, says Ed Loud.
You've got to get people when they're young, haven't you? I mean, that's the thing. You've got to get the young. And it's the young that are being targeted unfairly by commercial enterprise.
Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer in, I think that social media has a lot to play with this, especially for young people, because they look at all these social media channels, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, etc., and there's a certain way that people look in their YouTube, Instagram filtered world. You must be this thin and that and this, that, and have the pout and all that, and that has a lot to play with things. I think where kids don't eat properly, because it's so much easier to just
practicing
for a selfie, etc. It's so much easier for these kids to go to McDonald's and KFC and goodness know where they go. And of course the parents need to educate themselves and the kids as well.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I totally agree.
Well, that's enough for me. Good night.
It's totally enough. A lot of it is greed, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, these places like you mentioned KFC, just in case they want to sue us.
Oh yes, another copyright strike.
These places that I think to take your child to a branded place or a non-branded takeaway place, it's probably all right once in 6 months. As a treat. If you're good, if you eat all your greens, and if you eat all of this, and if you paint the shed, and if you creosote your dad, you can go and have a nice old Mac Farmy person's, American Bap. In whatever it is, you can have it.
Lovely Baps.
Gives you Baps here. Lovely Baps, warm straight off the chest of drawers over there.
But in that
should be a treat, not an everyday occurrence.
No, that's quite true. If only, it'd be great if we had a call now from either KFC Z or McDilbert's saying, well, we do offer healthy options as well.
I know, but that McDilbert's that you mentioned, that apparently they're doing a bean burger, so they get rid of the meat and all the other stuff.
Oh yeah, well that's a vegetarian option.
But I think that's more of a fad because it's a commercial fad being rammed down people's throats. So it's it's sold as a healthy option, and it may be healthier. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think that's done from a financial. Incentive rather than actually thinking, do you know what, we're going to really source some oxtail soup, organic food.
Yes, McDonald's oxtail soup.
Stars says the food banks are the lifeline for many.
Space in the screen with an expression that you have just seen some poor soul get run over.
I'm going to try something. I'm just going to refresh the this end here and see what happens.
That is brilliant. Oh, Ed, that's a quality comment. That's very good.
We may well be. We may. Oh, I think we're back on. I think we are back on.
We don't know whether we're live. We don't know whether we're dead. We don't know anything. This happened the last time I was on the show.
Yeah, I think there's a timer that says,
"Get off.
Get him off."
Somebody needs to put 50p in the meter.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for that. Those people that managed to stay with us, you are absolute gems. And don't forget to send in your donation of £400.
Or keep feeding the meter.
Keep feeding the meter. That's the only way to keep this show. So we're on the phone, by the way. We cut off just as Farmer Mikey rang in. Hello, Farmer Mikey.
I reckon it was Farmer Mikey phoning in that caused us to cut off.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably your landline has caused us no out. But anyway, Farmer Mikey, how are you?
I'm great, Mr. Vobes. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. Now, you want to contribute to the dietary call?
No, I was asking young Ricky about something I wondered about the other day, because one of the farms up from me, he's decided to go with this, these solar flipping panels.
The solar flipping panels.
Yeah.
Is that a game?
Yeah,
is that a game where like Pancake Day?
They tip up and down a lot,
Juggling.
To catch the sun.
Catch the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was wondering from Ricky about how they get cleaned, and look, that must.
Do they have their own windscreen
wipers? A huge
wipers?
amount of money for the cleaner with all those pains to have to do.
It's a bit of a cutthroat business cleaning solar panels.
Is it that people?
Yeah, it is.
They want the bottom dollar, do they?
The farms kind of get lots of different quotes, and invariably you always go with the cheapest.
Yeah.
It might not be necessarily the best, but yeah, the pole system with the van with a massive tank of pure water, and then they clean the panels that way. 3 or 4 of them at a time on an especially big. I nearly said wind farm. That would be a bit silly trying to clean wind farm with solar panels.
Yeah.
So
just speculating here a minute, Ricky.
Yes.
Just supposing your equipment damaged one of the panels, would you be liable to have to replace that?
That'll come down to insurance. Or any sensible person though wouldn't be cleaning anything that was damaged in the first place, just in case.
No, but if it wasn't damaged before you touched it.
Oh no! If you've damaged it, then yes, you would have to pay for it.
Like with anything, like with anything else, really.
Well, that's right. For example, if I threw this cup at Richard's head,
I'd have to pay for it.
For Richard's head,
Yeah. Well, no, I'd have to pay for his head.
Yeah, that's very true.
I wouldn't pay for the. Well, actually, no, I'd have to pay for the cup.
Whatever is cheapest, which is probably my head.
Yeah, that's right.
Fair.
Dave Evad has said, is that Evad?
Yeah, Evad. That's Dave backwards.
Yes,
he's kind of Dave, really.
Yeah, Dave. Says window cleaning is a pain.
Yes, it must be.
Well, not for Ricky, because that's how he earns his living.
Tumbleweed.
And the thing is, he's never heard that joke before.
No.
Which is why he's laughing his socks off.
Absolutely.
Really
no, but still, it's a good one. I often, people do actually tap on the window.
Having Ricky on the show is a real bonus. It fills the house laughing.
It's a bonus!
It's a boner. I mean, people tap on the window and what?
You've missed a bit.
Do they really do that?
Yeah, I get that quite a lot.
Yeah. Farmer Mikey, lovely to have you on the call. Thank you for keeping us entertained while everybody else was going, what the hell, have they gone?
Why have they just suddenly cut us off?
No problem at all, Richard.
You look after yourself.
So, it was nice chatting with you guys.
It was, actually.
Yes, definitely you too. Many thanks.
Okay then.
Tutty bye.
TTFN.
Catch you another time.
Yes,
Cheers.
indeed. There we are. That was Farmer Mikey, briefly there coming in with a big pair of scissors and using his sheep shears to snip us from the internet.
Is it Mikey or my key?
It could be the key to our future.
It could well be.
It probably isn't.
Lots of accents on tonight's show as well.
Yes, have you noticed? Especially over the E and the A. I think they're French, aren't they? One's a grave and one's something else. Anyway, enough of the bad jokes. Val Pragnell says, glad you're back. Or did Ricky stop pedalling to keep the power? Did you stop pedalling?
I must have done. Yes.
Please,
Sorry.
Will you stop doing that?
I'm back on.
The last time you did it, we had the same incident.
I know. We were just saying this when we got cut off.
We need to change the date from Tuesdays. Obviously, Tuesdays is not the internet is on a sort of low ebb day.
Well, third time lucky, we may not come back on.
That's true. Let's hope that's not the case. Stars says, Ricky, what is the tallest set of windows you've ever cleaned?
I don't go above normal
2 foot.
house height. 2 foot. Yes, that's right.
If I can't clean it with my feet, I'm not interested.
Back in the day when red tape wasn't around, when you couldn't go over a certain height, etc., etc., I used to have a big set of treble ladders.
What
to go
ladders?
up. Treble ladders. So
are they up here? Are they high-speaking ladders?
Yeah, that's right. And then you'd go all the way up to the top. But
top of what?
The ladder.
Even if there wasn't a window.
Yeah, I just used to put them up. I just used to come down to the town. That's right. Plonk it on the pier and see how far I could. Yeah.
So there's red tape now? Is there red tape above a certain?
I don't. Well,
the level that you can go up. You cannot go above the red. Who puts the red tape up there? How did they get that there?
That's the red tape man.
Ah, the red tape.
Who comes along and says, "No, health and safety. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't be above 7 foot on a ladder."
Have you got to have someone holding the ladder?
Yeah, there was. I'll have to show you online. I'm sure there's something somewhere, an online course in how to safely use ladders.
I'm sure that there is a man who thinks, how can we disrupt every business under the sun with our little red tape? We're going to attempt to make one more phone call before we head off, because I'm sure Ricky needs the loo. I actually nipped in there when we were offline.
Don't worry, I've already been.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Hello, welcome to the show.
Just a quick one, Sean from London.
Sean from London. It's nice when we get the same voice coming back again.
Well, it could be an impersonation of somebody else.
Oh, yeah, it could be. How do we know it's true?
In the morning,
yes.
Going to catch the train, and there were a lot of police and ambulance, and there was a ladder up to the 3rd floor, and I said, "What's happened?" And apparently, this guy had gone up to the 3rd floor to clean the windows. Forgot he was on a ladder, stepped back to admire his work, and just fell.
No, that doesn't happen. That does not happen. How could you climb up 3 floors on a ladder, wibbly wobbly, and just forget you're on a ladder? How do you do that? I mean...
Well, we can't ask him. He's dead now.
That's true.
But he had a lovely shine on his windows.
He had a what?
A lovely shine on his
windows. A lovely shine.
Look at this. I must just
admire this. And take a photograph. Oh, a little bit further.
A little selfie. Hey, here's me!
No,
you shouldn't laugh, but that's it.
This happened about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh well, it's not too soon then to laugh, is it?
And every time I go past, I think of him in his windows.
Yes. Oh dear, I wonder if they've ever been cleaned since.
Julia in the comments says, "Well, one day I will be able to learn George Formby's classic ukulele tune."
When I'm cleaning window.
Yeah. That would be good. Julia, that is your challenge.
Ding dong, ding dong, yiddly-po. When I'm cleaning windows.
Is that challenge accepted, Julia?
My final question before I go.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot you. Yes.
Is
we always forget.
Has Ricky ever seen something through a window that he shouldn't have?
Now, Farmer Mikey asked me this when we were cut off. And no, I have never seen anything.
How
boring is that? Well,
anything.
Just
I've
nothing.
never seen anything.
No,
No,
it's
reading
ju-
it, all the curtains
It's
are closed.
it's just a void.
I don't look. I'm up my ladder.
No.
3 floors. I clean them. I don't look. I take a step to the side.
I'm just thinking maybe that's what's happened. Maybe that's what happened. He went up to 3 floors, cleaned the window.
He saw something.
Opened the door really quickly.
Well, that's much more likely that you saw something you shouldn't
Yes.
and naturally step back.
Or
to
he
admire.
missed his footy.
Yes, you
I
could.
wouldn't
Whoa,
have said you just suddenly go,
step
oh, I
back.
just...
How far back shall I step? 4 steps is enough for me.
But no, I have never seen anything spurious, naughty.
It's a dead-end job, isn't it, really?
Anything that's the only. I
Hang
lie.
on.
I do lie.
Gather round.
Actually,
Yeah.
once I did see an elderly customer playing. It's not as exciting as that.
Was he bandying the goose?
No, or choking the chicken. She was playing the Xbox. That's about the limit of what I've seen.
There must be some
Is
funny
an
things.
80-year-old woman playing the Xbox.
Damn, I didn't.
I think she was playing. I think it was a racing game. I seem to remember, and I was like that, like I'm looking at you now, Sean. Like, really? And she was playing on the Xbox. Sorry,
Was she doing the same face?
Well, probably because you couldn't see. And that's the best thing I've seen. So I lied. There's a bit of rubbish just right there. I have seen one thing.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have to end the show. As much as we've thoroughly enjoyed it, it's been great. It's 9:30 in the UK. It's probably a different time where you are.
Thanks for that call, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
All the best. Bye.
Take care. There we
Cheerio.
are. Lovely Sean James Cameron from
Oh,
London.
what a great way to end things. Somebody stepping back to admire his work.
Yes. Oh, I take it you've not yet done that.
No.
Could you try?
I'll film you doing it.
Oh, I can do that though. I can admire my work because I don't really climb ladders.
No, that's quite true. Yeah. Somebody in the comments far earlier on, if I could put my teeth in, said, when are we going out on another adventure?
I've got the 26th of February marked, or the 28th, or the 31st.
We might be doing
Feb
something anyway. Yeah.
Whenever you're free, really.
Yeah.
I know it's that business about. I haven't got the time.
Yeah, I just don't have the time. I'm sorry, Richard. I just don't have the time.
Don't have the time.
That's right.
Don't have the time. Someone should buy him a clock. Well, it's been very nice that you've managed to give us your time this evening.
Thank you.
For you have caused a lot of consternation on the show.
A lot of grief.
People are now queuing up at A&E and having their laughing gear just checked.
There were some great calls tonight.
There was some
Thank
very...
you, everybody who called in.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. It's been fun. And if you would like Ricky to come back on the show another time, there must be something wrong with you. But we will organise that. Would you like to come back again?
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's like being on these game shows. Oh, would you like to come back again? We must have you back. Oh, it's okay. All right, my love. Let's look at the old floorboard. Mikey and Mikey, 3 points, and Janice and Jude are 9. So
high or lower? Higher or
lower? Anyway, on that note,
yes.
Definitely it would be lovely to have you back there. And I shall now write you the cheque.
Thank you very much.
How many zeros would you like?
At least 5.
Yes, there's plenty. As long as there's no other number in front of it, you can have all those zeros as you want. So, ladies and gentlemen, it just reminds me to say there is a show tomorrow. Alas, it's just me on my lonesome tonesome. So you've probably got better things to do.
I certainly have.
Yeah, you haven't got the time. And she's on all that bread.
Yeah, that's right.
Friday will be the next show with the lovely Julia. Thursday, there'll be a Bald Explorer video. But hey, it's not a Sussex border walk, so maybe you won't want to watch it.
Oh, God, it's going to be about bread.
Oh, it's going to be about making your own life miserable. So that's it. But more fun and games in the future somewhere. You've just got to find it. Ricky, thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed, yeah.
And thanks to all the callers who's called in. Thanks to the internet for breaking down and giving us a little moment of panic. And, of course, to the lovely Julia and Judith, who's out there moderating and ensuring that people laugh in the right places. And, of course...
Canned laughter, that's what you need.
I knew, I must get a can of that.
You've got the...
I have got that very same thing here. Oh, they didn't hear it, hang on. But that's it. Thanks for everyone typing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with us. And we will be back in the future. Until then, lead a very happy life.
And make time.
And just, yeah, that's the word of the week. Make time. But we haven't got time for that.
No.
Bye-bye.